crew, we are joined by Myron and his brother, Sidroy. Sidroy, you briefly explained to me that you've had a driving test recently.
Yeah.
What happened?
Unfortunately, I failed the driving test because there was a fault, a serious, dangerous fault on the roundabout. It was a 6-exit roundabout on Ashford Lane.
Wow.
Which was which I was familiar during my driving. What do you call it?
Driving test?
No, it's
lessons. Lessons. Yeah.
But during the actual driving test, the examiner told me to go on a different exit. And I was only familiar with one lane.
So when you said you did the 6 exit on the roundabout, I've never heard of that, so I thought that was definitely worth talking about. Was that a 6 exit that took you back the same way, or was it to a different direction?
To a different direction.
Oh, it was. And what test centre was that?
Ashford.
Ashford. So if anybody's got their driving test at Ashford, make sure you put the practice in for doing 6 exit on the roundabout. Yeah. As that's something that you might be tested on, and that sounds very challenging. So
Ashford, Middlesex.
Oh yes, because there's 2, isn't there? Yeah.
There's Kent as well.
Yes.
It's Ashford, Middlesex.
Lovely. I'm glad you mentioned that because I made a point of mentioning that on my videos at Ashford as well because there's 2. Okay. All right then. So, Myron, we're going to be doing your driving test. Yeah. So, could you now tell us about your driving previous experiences?
Actually, I've never driven in London before.
Okay.
But in India, I had my driving license. Previously, I don't have any experience driving with an automatic car.
Oh yes, that's important.
I'm excited because God gave me this opportunity, so I'm excited to.
Lovely. Okay, so Myron is used to driving manual, so it's important for Myron to remember that your left foot is on holiday.
Yeah.
Okay, so on a lovely beach somewhere drinking, I don't know, Virgin Mary pina coladas or something like that. Okay. All right. So, any questions before we get started?
Nothing much.
Okay, right, so you may or may not be aware, but the driving test requirements is roughly 40 minutes of driving. Yeah. You'll be doing some independent driving, roughly 20 minutes, maybe sat-nav, it may be signs. You'll be doing a reverse manoeuvre at some point, and you could possibly be asked to do a controlled stop. Okay. We'll be doing your show me, tell me questions and pulling over and stopping on the left. Everything that you've been training with your previous experience, like with your other instructor, and it's everything that you'll be asked to do on an official driving test.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so all the good marks will be up here in green. All of the driver faults advisory will be up here in yellow. And all of the serious or dangerous driver faults will be up here in red. So, Myron, if you're ready, I'd like you to drive on and just follow the road ahead. And for now, I'm going to give you directions.
Okay, yeah.
So when you're ready, drive on, follow the road ahead, and I'll give you directions.
Okay.
So here we are off to another mock test where we will be posting mock tests just like this one with up to 6, 7, even 8 different camera angles to try and help you learn from this experience that Myron's about to show us. Now he's off to a good start, setting a good first impression of doing his all-round observations, making sure that it's clear and safe before deciding to move off. Now, would anybody like to see his brother Sidroy do a mock test? If you would, please write that down in the comments below. And if you gain any value from this video, don't forget to like.
At the end of the road, I'd like you to turn left, please.
From my experience of seeing many different driving test centres across the UK, most of them have either a very busy area immediately after exiting the test centre or quite a narrow space to pass through. There can be a lot of information to take in, so when you do start at the beginning of your driving test, make sure you do this smoothly and look around your surroundings, take in all the information you can see and practice in the area if possible. This can really help to build your confidence and ease you into the beginning of your driving test where you might be feeling a little bit anxious.
At the roundabout, follow the road ahead.
At the mini roundabouts, we must give priority to the right. The vehicle's not moving, yet this doesn't affect the rule. We must stop to give priority to the traffic on the right. On this occasion, no other road users were affected with one of the 3 S's: slow, stop or swerve. If we affect priority traffic, making them slow, stop or swerve, this can result in a serious driver fault. Examiners may use discretion on your driving test, providing that the other road users have not been dramatically affected by causing one of the 3 S's. And on this occasion, the vehicle on the right at the roundabout was not moving. So Myron has received an advisory driver fault for response to other road users.
At the next mini roundabout, I'd like you to take the first exit, turning left, please.
Throughout the video, we'll be showing that camera angle where we can see Myron behind the wheel. What's really nice is that he has his fingers positioned to apply the signals and cancel the signals if necessary. This roundabout's very clear and open with good visibility. There's no traffic on the right when we reach the junction, therefore it's safe for us to proceed and turn left. Nice roundabout, Myron. The next camera angle that will feature quite heavily in this mock test video will be the side, and that's the distance between the left of the pavement and the left side of our vehicle. This distance is called clearance, and most of the time people will step on or over road markings or into or over pavements. This is very nice as Myron has an absolutely impeccable driving line, and you will notice this throughout the video.
Okay, Myron, I'd like to pull up on the left just before the next red car on the left, please. Don't worry about the yellow line or the driveway. Just pull over and stop on the yellow line. Give roughly a distance of a car from the red car. This is fine. Amazing. Thank you. All right, Myron, just put the car into park for me, please. Just pushing the button on the edge. Lovely. We're going to, in a moment, we're going to start your independent drive.
Okay.
It's going to probably talk a little bit. Oh, no, it won't. So good. So just before we start your independent drive, I'm just going to ask you a tell me question.
Okay.
Would you be able to tell me if the headrest was adjustable, how would you adjust it so it's in a safe position?
Okay, if it is adjustable.
Oh, sorry, bear with me. Me and this lady, we have arguments a lot. Okay, go ahead.
If it is adjustable, I would adjust it in a way so that the rigid part is as high as my eyes.
Perfect.
Okay.
That's it. Lovely. Right, okay, so we're going to start your independent drive. Please do listen to the lady from now on. If you have any questions, then do ask me, and I'll do my best to help you if I can.
Okay,
all right? Until then, just follow the sat-nav the best you can.
Okay.
When you're ready, drive on.
I believe we can all agree that Myron is looking all the way around, making effective observations before moving off. He's twisting his body and moving his head, tilting it to angle out into the blind spots. This is the area that the mirrors do not cover, like driveways and side roads.
His foot firmly on the brake. And then, there you go.
So before we started filming, Myron had maybe 10 minutes warm-up driving this vehicle. It's a new car, and it's quite common to forget, even in a vehicle that you are familiar with, there we go. You might forget to put yourself into drive or first gear, so don't panic, just do what Myron's doing, do your observations again, make sure it's clear, and then drive away after.
This is really good for the viewers because they'll be able to see how many cars there are. Ignore the beeping noise, please.
As we're getting closer and closer to all cars becoming electric and technology just being outdone by each company on a yearly basis, sometimes this technology cannot be relied on. So do take effective observations if you have your side sensors on your vehicle making a red warning light and using the audio warning chime too. This can be distracting and off-putting, and on this occasion the vehicle was no longer next to us. That's why I told Myron to ignore the beeping noise. So this is Isleworth Test Centre route. Now, many test centres involve very similar circumstances. This road is now a 20-mile-an-hour road where Myron is doing an absolutely blinding job of keeping to the speed limits, regardless of the vehicles may be following him too closely, which can make a driver feel anxious and pressured to go faster. Myron keeps his composure and notices that the legal limit is 20 by signs and maintains the legal limit requirements.
After 200 yards, go left on the roundabout and take the first exit, Whittington.
4 out of 5 driving tests will use the sat-nav for independent driving. Look to the top of the screen and you will see a banner, not only telling you the direction for the next junction, but also counting down in yards. This can be very useful for forward planning.
Go left on the roundabout and take the first exit.
My apologies for the rain, yet from what we can see there is no traffic on the right at the roundabout. So I hope this view does help you to make the decision whether it's safe or not to go at the roundabout. Ahead we have a parked vehicle on the left and an oncoming vehicle on the right. Not only is Myron slowing down for the speed bumps, but he's also slowing down for the oncoming traffic and the parked car. This creates a narrow point in the road. Myron's especially good at keeping a safe distance from the vehicles on the left when he does have oncoming traffic. For most people, when they're learning to drive, seeing an oncoming vehicle is a very scary experience. We have a temptation to look 100% at this vehicle and then forget all about what's on our left-hand side. Throughout this video, you will see how Myron is always keeping that safe distance from the left. There's only one occasion where I had to warn him, but do bear in mind that this is a new vehicle and he's never driven in London and he's never driven an automatic. Come on now, how could you get any more better than this?
Myron, how long did you drive in India for?
I'm 20 now, so I had got my license when I was 18. So probably 1.5 years of driving.
It's worthwhile mentioning that this is the first time that Myron's used a sat-nav. From what you told me, you haven't used it before.
After 200 yards, go right on the roundabout and take the 4th exit, Rugby Road. Go right on the roundabout and take the 4th exit.
We emerge onto the roundabout while there's still traffic coming from the right. This traffic has priority and we cause it to slow, which is a serious driver fault for response to other road users. Myron does not have his right signal on, and if we're turning right, we must use the right signal to inform other road users. This is a serious driver fault for signals necessary.
Okay, this next part on the sat-nav can be slightly confusing because my sat-nav's set for a whole route. These blue lines overlap.
Okay.
You're just going to continue to follow the road straight ahead,
Okay.
please. So it's just straight ahead through the traffic lights, and then the sat-nav should start to tell you where to go.
After 200 yards, go right on the roundabout and take the third exit, A316, Chertsey Road.
Failing to see the traffic sign ahead, Myron steers into the oncoming traffic. He receives a serious driver fault for response to traffic signs.
Go right on the roundabout and take the third exit.
Sorry, Myron. Just look at the blue circle on this pole here.
Yeah.
It's ordering you to keep to the left.
If you are doing your driving test at Isleworth, these roundabouts are very important. It's not actually a circle shape, and it's more of an oval. This creates more of a pointed and severe angle when passing the second exit and then going towards a third exit. Look at the road markings clearly and make sure that you spiral out at the correct time using your mirrors and signals effectively. Most driving tests will be conducted in a silent manner, only giving you the directions and the information that's necessary. This can create a kind of atmosphere where some people may feel uncomfortable. Sometimes silence is broken with a question, like a generic one. What would you normally be doing today if you weren't doing a driving test? You can keep your answers short and sweet, and it's up to you if you want to engage in a conversation. Now, I've been quite quiet on this road to allow Myron to focus, and he hasn't really noticed what the new speed limit is. Have you?
Sidroy? Yes. What's the speed limit?
40.
Myron?
Yeah.
What's the speed limit?
It's 40.
Okay, Myron, if it's safe, I'd like you to show me how you'd beep the horn.
I press the.
Lovely. Thank you very much.
For a chance to win a free driving test booking, subscribe and write down in the comments below free driving test. Once we reach 4,000 subscribers, we will choose somebody at random to be the lucky winner of a free driving test. You can enter if you're anywhere in the UK, as we will book a driving test centre that's local to your area. Good luck.
After 400 yards, cross the roundabout and take the second exit, A316, towards the southwest. Then, take the exit, A305, towards Heathrow.
We are now approaching the Hospital Bridge roundabout, and you might see me smiling even though I'm wearing a face mask. I know, it sounds weird, but just look at my eyes. The reason why I'm smiling is because I think Myron's been here before. But yeah, it's the first time he's ever driven in the UK and the first time he's ever driven an automatic car. I'm so happy because he's approaching in the correct lane to follow the road ahead. How he's seen the road markings from such a far distance is beyond me, but he has, and he's following them correctly. An absolutely amazing roundabout here. Watch his lane discipline, how he's perfectly between the lines and following the straight road markings straight ahead at the roundabout, second exit. Well done, Myron.
After 800 yards, take the exit, then go right on the roundabout and take the fourth exit. Take the exit A305 towards Heathrow, then go right on the roundabout and take the fourth exit A312.
So that's this exit here on the left. That takes you to the roundabout where we'll be doing the fourth exit, turning right.
Okay.
Earlier we said 4 out of 5 tests will use the sat-nav. So if you're the 1 out of 5 that is asked to read and follow signs here, you will be following the signs towards Heathrow.
So it's the fourth
After
exit.
200 yards, go right on the roundabout and take the fourth exit A312 towards Heathrow. Go right on the roundabout and take the fourth exit.
Because we are taking the fourth exit, turning right, we are signalling right as we approach and enter onto the roundabout. The correct timing for the left signal to advise other road users that we are exiting the roundabout on the left is as we pass this exit here, which is the exit before the exit we wish to take. Myron waits until he's actually steering left and exiting the roundabout to apply the left signal. This is mistimed and Myron receives an advisory driver fault for signals timed. When changing back to the left lane and using the signal, make sure you cancel it when it's not necessary. Myron receives a dangerous driver fault for use of signals when necessary after he has completed his maneuver back to the left lane. This misleads other road users and leads into dangerous situations where traffic is emerging from a side road.
After 300 yards, turn right, A314, Hounslow Road.
Will it be okay if I go straight because I took the wrong lane, I guess?
Yeah, whatever's the safest thing for you to do.
Okay.
Just be safe.
Practicing with your driving instructor using the sat-nav for independent drive will build your confidence. If you notice you've gone a different direction on your driving test, stay calm and carry on. It's important to now listen to your examiner.
After 30 yards, turn right, A314, Hounslow Road. Turn right.
Okay, ignore the sat nav, please. I will give you directions from now on. Just follow the road ahead, and I'll tell you when to turn left or right.
Turn left, then turn left.
Ignore the sat nav, just continue to follow the road ahead.
Thank you for staying tuned up until now, and if you've learned something new or gained some value, don't forget to hit that like button, as it only takes a second and it helps me out tremendously. So who would like to see Myron vs Sidroy? If you would like to see how a 1.5 year experience of driving in India and never driving in the UK, for the first time this is how you're seeing Myron drive in the UK. He's no experience, 1.5 years in India of driving a manual car, first time in an automatic on UK roads, and then we could possibly compare that to Sidroy's experience of already taking a driving test before and having lessons on UK roads. So if that's something that interests you, don't forget to write that down in the comments below. Now what we're about to see next is a serious driver fault marked down for traffic lights as Myron stops at the green light.
Traffic lights, keep the left lane and take the next road on the left. Just here at the traffic lights, turning left.
There's a possibility that Myron confuses this for a roundabout as he stops and gives priority to the right. Now we don't need to give priority as this is not a roundabout, and Myron receives a serious driver fault for stopping at the green traffic light.
Okay, what I'd like you to do, just to get us back onto track, you see the roundabout that we have coming up?
Yeah.
I would like you to go all the way around the roundabout, please. Actually, sorry, I've come up with a better idea.
Okay.
Keep your right signal on.
Yeah.
And turn right on the roundabout. We're going to go use the car park to do your manoeuvre. So just this exit here, please. Thank you. And then we can come back there afterwards. Let's go do our manoeuvre. Okay, so I'm going to turn right into the car park just here on the right-hand side, please. Into the entrance. Thank you. It's a very empty car park, so we've got plenty of space. Let's just keep going straight ahead. And then what I'd like you to do is turn into any one of these rows on the right, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And just continue to go over the speed bump for me. And just come up a little bit further. Now I'd like you to come to a nice slow stop anywhere here. Thank you very much. Right. Because we are not allowed to use the test centre's facilities to do reverse bay parking.
Okay.
Instructors are forced to come to car parks like this and ask you to do the reverse bay parking.
Okay.
But on your real driving test, reverse bay parking will always be done at the test centre.
Okay.
That's quite important for you because that's something that might be asked of you at Isleworth.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you to do a reverse bay park.
Okay.
So when you're ready, I'd like you to reverse into any one of the bays here on the right-hand side.
Okay.
But it is important for viewers and for people taking the driving tests, because this isn't mentioned by the examiners often. It must be the first row. So we can't go over and into the second row of bays. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So it has to be a first row. Yeah, we're not allowed to go over and into another side.
Okay. Yeah, I got it.
All right, well, if that's clear, I'd like you to reverse into one of the bays in the first row on the right-hand side, please.
Okay. Yeah.
When you're ready, and it's safe to do so. And just to point out, Myron has never used this car before. Myron, those thick yellow lines, those are your tyres.
Okay.
So as long as those thick yellow lines go into a set of the white lines,
Okay.
that should be nice.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be quiet, let you continue. When you're ready, reverse bay park.
When doing your driving test and your examiner has chosen your manoeuvre, if you need to do some corrections or shunts, as they may be referred to from some driving instructors, this will be recorded as a driver fault for control under the driving test manoeuvre that your examiner has chosen. So on this occasion, Myron receives a driver fault for control under reverse bay parking.
Yeah.
Lovely. Well done. When you're ready, I'd like you to exit the car park on the left, please. And then if you wouldn't mind, I believe we can exit on the left, so turning left, please. And then we're approaching the exit here, where I'd like you to turn left, back towards the roundabout, and at the roundabout, turn left also. At the traffic lights, independent driving's finished now, so I'll just give you directions from now on. At the traffic lights, turn right.
With good visibility, good road conditions and a green traffic light, there seems to be some confusion from Myron. We have lots of space and more than enough room to accelerate and actually gain some progress like the vehicles on the left. Yet when the green light comes, we slow almost to a stop and take this turn way too overcautiously. This is slowing the traffic following, and Myron receives a driver fault advisory for turning right. So how do you feel Myron's getting on? Do you have any advice, tips, tricks or techniques to share? Well, why not write them down in the comments below? Are you bored? If you are, look for signs. What's the speed limit? Is that a bicycle lane? Are there any cyclists down the road ahead? This is called LADA. Look, assess, decide, act. And it's part of awareness and planning, which is really the final skill for people to master to become a safe driver. So here we can see Myron is keeping the cycle lane completely clear. And further down the road, conveniently, we have a cyclist, which Myron will overtake very safely. As he passes the cyclist, the cycle lane comes to an end where he is coming towards the junction. He does move over a little bit more, which kind of prevents the cyclist from moving past us. Now, the main concern about this is when we stop at traffic lights, we really need to check the side mirrors for filtering traffic, i.e. cyclists or motorcyclists that can squeeze through the gaps. So as the traffic lights change, we need to be aware of these other road users before making progress.
At the traffic light, I'd like you to turn left, please.
Okay.
Before you comment, yes, there's a slight delay from one of the cameras here. However, I feel very sorry about this gentleman. He's actually having to brake and slow down as Myron's turning left. So a cyclist effectively is able to turn left faster than Myron. Myron receives a driver fault advisory here for junctions turning left. There's still quite a lot of confusion here, as if you replay that, you'll see Myron looks to the right a lot, slowing down, watching that other road user on the right, whereas Myron has priority to turn. So, I'm not too sure what the cause is, as Myron isn't one of my students. I haven't analysed this with him. However, it's something that's coming up. And remember, if the same advisory driver fault persists in the same category, this can actually become a serious driver fault. If it's consecutive enough, the examiner, using their discretion, may actually generate a serious driver fault from consecutive driver advisory faults. So it's something to bear in mind when you're taking your driving test, as you don't want to be overcautious. You do need to make progress safely, and this is what the driving examiners are looking for.
at the roundabout. I'd like you to follow the road ahead, please.
So this is nice. We want to see more of this from Myron. Confident junction, good observations to the right at the roundabout, knows it's safe and proceeds with no hesitation. Well done, Myron.
We're going to have a set of traffic lights coming up.
Okay.
I'd like you to turn right at the traffic lights, please. Have you been doing any lessons recently then,
No.
Sidran?
Me?
Sorry, brother.
Uh,
you focused.
Yeah, I'll be doing it soon. I have to wait 10 days until the requirement periods after you fail your driving test is 10 days legally, so I have to wait until 16th.
Okay.
Here Myron shows very good kind of peep and creep into the junction. So we're moving nice and gentle, slowly into the centre of the junction, where we're still in line with the centre of the road that we're on, and we're lining the front of our vehicle in line with the centre of the road that we're turning into. This is a very good position to take, and Myron does an amazing crossroads here. Congrats.
Looks like some rain clouds coming. Right, the window wipers are on the automatic setting, so hopefully that'll be good enough, because it looks like it's definitely going to rain.
See, don't you do manual driving?
I did for about 8 years, and then I, just to be honest with you, got fed up of it. I just don't see the point anymore. You know, you drive a manual car, you know what it's like. Driving it in India, I mean, your left leg must be like this compared to your right leg. What's the point in doing this every bloody 10 seconds when we can just chill out and relax and enjoy the drive? Everything's going electric. All right, I'm going to shut up now. I just start going on a rant, but yeah, I don't know. I just don't see the point in manual anymore.
Continue to keep looking for speed signs throughout the drive on your driving test, as the speed changes may vary. If you're not too sure, remember what we mentioned earlier, go by the last sign that you've seen. Now on this open part of the road, with traffic that may be exceeding the speed limit, it can often be a mixed signal to us that we may not be doing the correct speed limit. So remember, go by the last sign that you've seen. Now it's really nice to see good clearance here from the parked cars. I always like to bring that up. And Myron's very precise with his distances here, always keeping a safe gap, roughly a metre or a door width. Now as we've been passing down this road, unfortunately we did creep up over the speed limit and it was reasonably high, so we've received a dangerous driver fault for use of speed. The warning chime has alerted Myron to the speed limit. He keeps his composure, aware of the vehicle following too closely, and does not exceed the speed limit. Well done.
At the roundabout, I'd like you to follow the road ahead, please. Second exit.
At the roundabout, Myron has a very nice approaching speed, which is appropriate to allow him time to focus on the observations. He sees an opportunity and proceeds smoothly through the roundabout. Look ahead as there may be zebra crossings on the opposite side and we may need to slow and stop for the pedestrian crossing. Now remember that van behind us is following quite closely and we don't want to stop suddenly if we can avoid it. Myron's aware of this, however, oncoming traffic now turns in front of us and Myron slows and stops for some unknown reason as we have priority. This results in a serious driver fault for being overly hesitant.
So have you been practicing this area at all or not really?
No. This is the first time I'm driving.
Okay. Doing good. The only reason I ask because there was some junctions earlier that you did very well, and the only way most people can do those junctions well is if they'd been there before. But maybe you just did it well because you can do it well, I'm not sure. So that's why I asked to see if you'd been here before.
No.
At the traffic lights, I'd like you to turn left. So if you weren't doing a mock test for YouTube, what would you normally be doing today?
Just at home.
Still quarantining? Yeah. Hopefully that will be over soon.
Yeah.
Hope so, yeah.
It's been a year now, more than a year.
The Indian variant is concerned.
Oh yeah, it does sound very scary actually.
It's the worst hit nation.
It's still bad, yeah. I haven't been watching the news, but I'm
Actually,
assuming
I
it's
don't want to watch the news anymore.
it's too scary, isn't it? Yeah.
This part of the video, I did a speed ramp just because we were driving a little bit slow, just to try and make the video a little shorter so people don't get too bored. Yet there is a driver fault here advisory for appropriate speed.
At the roundabout, please turn right, second exit.
Some rare occasions you may not have regular reminders of the speed limit signs, so therefore go by the last speed limit sign that you've seen. Here we do have regular speed signs written in the lanes, and there are signs on the side of the roads. Here we do exceed the speed limit, and Myron receives a serious driver fault for use of speed.
We're done now. So Joy's noticing. Did you hear his little hints back here? He's been trying to help you. At the roundabout, I'd like you to take the second exit, turning right, please.
You will often hear driving instructors and examiners call junctions open or closed. And at this roundabout, where we have to stop and give priority to the right, it's an open junction with good visibility, and there's no need for us to come to a stop as we don't have any traffic to give priority to. This is a driver fault for undue hesitation.
When we approach a roundabout, what side is the most dangerous and the side that has priority?
The right hand side.
Yes. Careful, 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 careful. At the roundabout, I'd like you to go straight across, please. And then if you wouldn't mind taking the next road on the right into Fleming Way, Isleworth Driving Test Centre. I'd like you to go to the far end of the car park, please, where there'll be some space for us. And just behind the white van on the left, do you see this big white van?
Yeah.
Just go beyond the white van,
Okay.
and behind it, turn left into the car park on the left, please. I'd like you just to go towards the building that says number 6 and into the far corner here, just on the right side in front of building number 6. Doesn't have to be perfect, just anywhere, so we're out of the way of the other road users. Perfect. Alright, and then just push the big magic button that says stop. And the test is over when the engine's off, and not before. Important. Alright, Myron, that's the end of your mock test.
Yeah.
I can tell you're quite nervous.
I know.
Tell me why, or tell everybody why. I'm
Okay.
sure they understand.
Firstly, because I've never driven an automatic car.
Yeah.
And then I was not used to it because when we drive a manual car, the main thing is we use our left hand leg and left hand. But in case of the automatic car, we don't use them much. So the other thing was that I never drove on I never drive on London roads. So they were new to me, the roundabouts, and yeah, that much. But I was a bit nervous, so this was an opportunity for me.
Alright, well, you've actually done very well considering you've never driven on London roads before.
Yeah.
And you haven't done these type of junctions and situations. So before I go into more detail about your driving, because there's lots of good things, and we'll cover that in a second.
Yeah.
Do you prefer driving the manual?
For now, I would say yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm used to the manual car.
All right.
I'm used to driving it, but I won't say that automatic cars are that bad. Because you don't have to use there's no headache like you have to use the clutch. You can relax with the clutch thing, and you don't have to worry about the gears. The car does it for you.
So it seems like there's a lot of bonuses there then.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
Right, okay, because everybody knows where this will probably go next, let's move on. Right, would you like me to go over the results of your mock test?
Yes.
Okay, so, Myron, on this occasion,
Yeah.
we weren't successful, so we haven't passed,
Yeah.
okay? Would you like me to cover the areas that I've marked down here?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah? All right, so I'll do these in order. Sometimes it takes a little while. But the first driver fault we have here is for response to other road users.
Okay.
So the first roundabout we came to, I don't know if you remember, but there was a learner.
Yeah.
Sid Roy he tried to help you quite a lot. I don't know if you heard him in the back, but he was making little noises to try and get you to be aware. There was a learner car on the right side of the roundabout.
Okay.
You did tell me that you know that that's the more important side for the reason that it has priority. We need to stop and let that vehicle go, if we feel it's necessary. But it does have priority. So it wasn't moving.
I know.
Sometimes if the car on the right isn't moving,
I know.
it's because they have a car on the right.
Yeah.
So they can't go. And then that can be an opportunity for you
I know.
to make progress and actually go. There wasn't a car on the right of the car on your right.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense to you. I can show you a picture really quickly. This one here. So you're car number 1.
Yeah.
You had car number 2 next to you.
I know.
There's no number 3 car, which may be the reason why number 2 stops.
Okay.
Okay? So for that reason,
Yeah.
we need to stop and let number 2 out, because number 2 is probably going to go because there's nobody for number 2 to stop for. So why number 2 wasn't moving, I'm not sure. I didn't mark it as a dangerous or a serious driver fault. I just marked it down as an advisory driver fault.
Okay.
Because really, we needed to let number 2 out.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So moving on. The second driver fault here that was an advisory driver fault. The second driver fault is a serious driver fault. So a lot of people are very or more interested in the serious dangerous driver faults. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 serious driver faults, 2 dangerous driver faults. So in total, that's 9 serious dangerous driver faults in total. So just so everybody's like, what's going on? Oh, how many dangerous driver faults? Okay, that's how many. Right, so number 2 is a serious driver fault, and that's for response to other road users. So this was the 3rd roundabout you came to.
Yeah.
We started to go, and as you started to go, there's a car on your right. So
I had to give way to it.
You've either got to go really fast, or yes, do this. Maybe a safer opportunity would be for you to actually stop, let that vehicle out. Okay, moving on. Number 3. Okay, this is a serious driver fault. So this is for signals when necessary. So I'm going to try and see. This should be for the 4th exit on the roundabout. So we were doing a 4th exit on the roundabout. We need the right signal. So 4th exit. Okay. So we need the right signal when we're actually going around the roundabout. And I believe that was for that reason. There's a lot of vehicles that are looking at us when we're going around. We're not showing a signal. So it really needs to be a signal that we need to use, because it will help other road users. Okay. And that's the way that your examiner is going to look at your use of signals. Okay. So if they believe that your signal would benefit other road users and you do not use it, that can be a serious driver fault. Oh, okay. Even in lanes that are right-only lanes or left-only lanes, sometimes we must still signal because it can benefit pedestrians that might walk out on the road. If they see the signal, they might stay on the pavement. Cyclists, motorbikes, cars, etc. So if you feel like the signal benefits, or the examiner feels like it benefits, you must use it, okay? All right, moving on. So number 4 now. Number 14. No, number 4. Where the hell is number 4? I can't see number 4. Can you see number 4? Can anybody see number 4? No.
It's over here, I guess.
That's it. Lovely. Thank you very much. Okay, so this is a serious driver fault, and this is for traffic signs. So we approached the roundabout, and I'm not too sure why. Well, actually, I probably am, but I'm not going to cast my faults yet. I'll ask. That way I'm not wrong. Right. When we approached that roundabout, there was a blue circle sign with a white arrow pointing, ordering us to keep to. So now I'm going to ask, why do you believe that you started to go past that?
Actually, the thing was that I didn't see that sign, and I got nervous over there. So I was like, which way to go? Was it the right-hand side or the left-hand side? And I didn't. The moment you told me, look at the sign over there, then I was like, oh, that was a fault.
Good. So these things in future now, you'll go, oh, is there a sign? Oh, yeah, I can see it. Now I know, because you've had this experience.
Yeah.
So that's the good bit about these things that come up. We can correct in future. Number 5. Number 5 is here. This is let's make sure. This is a serious driver fault, and this was doing too slow a speed, which actually most likely would go into appropriate speed, but I've marked it as use of speed. And this is for going 30 miles an hour in a 40. Okay. Now, I did wait probably about half a mile, so it's quite a while, to give you the chance to start to address your speed and get up to speed, because we had an open road, dual carriageway. So at that point, I think I was a bit rude, and I asked your brother what the speed limit was. Okay. He's focusing, and he's said 40 miles an hour, so he's obviously seen the speed sign. At that point, obviously, you're aware that the speed limit was higher, so you just need to really look for signs. So when I was doing my driving lessons, I never looked for signs. I always failed my mock tests, and I failed one real test for speed as well, because I never looked at signs. So my instructor would say to me, okay, how do you think it went? Oh, I think it went brilliant. And I'd be like, hang on a second. No, you're going up 5 miles an hour over, 10 miles an hour under. It's just a mess. Why? And I was just like, I have no idea. So they asked me, are you looking for the speed signs? Yeah. And then it clicked. I was like, no. Now I need to start looking for speed signs. So from that, I made an effort. It wasn't immediate effort, but I did try to keep reminding myself to look for poles. Yeah. And on these lampposts or poles, that's where the sign's going to be. So for me, it was poles. Look for poles. Look for poles.
Examiners do take mostly on the 40 miles per hour. They need you to be confident. They need you to be you can drive. You can take the speed. And that's what they're looking for.
Yep, well said. It's totally correct. Okay, so moving on to number 6. Number 6 was also for speed. We went for a speed change. So that you are in a 20 road. By the way, congratulations to Myron for doing 20 miles an hour. Nearly every single place that it was 20. And they're so long, these roads at 20. You're staying at the speed limit. That deserves a medal in itself because it's so difficult to do that. All right, but then we went to a 30 mile an hour sign. Oh, hang on, is that the right way round? No, it's the wrong way round. You were in a 30 mile an hour zone and there was a 20 mile an hour sign coming up. And when we passed the sign, we were at 27 miles an hour. So we, in fact, entered into a 20 mile an hour zone at 27 miles an hour.
Okay, so we should have been slow.
Yeah, so the zone is in effect once you reach the sign. So as you approach a sign where the speed's slowing down, we need to slow down early. Okay. So by the time we've reached the sign, we're at the correct speed limit. Yes. And number 7. So what did I mark that? That was a dangerous driver fault. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry to disturb you.
Yeah.
I think learners should also see the road markings because there are signs marked on the roads as well. Yeah. If there are no signs on the poles, because most of them they will say there are road markings, speed markings on the poles. Mm-hmm. I think they should also see the road markings on the road, which are marked in white.
A very good point, because you may have both. You may just have one or the other. But usually, like your brother's saying, there's road markings in 20 zones. Yeah. Because that did come up at the end where we had a 30 and then it went 20 again. And anyways, we'll come to that. So number 7, this is a dangerous driver fault. And this is where I'm getting confused. Is this the point where the dangerous driver fault wasn't for the use of signal going round, which you talked about earlier, which was number 3. This was when you were exiting the roundabout.
Fourth exit?
Yeah, fourth exit.
I took the 3rd exit, I guess.
No, it was the signal.
It was the signal.
Yeah, you needed the signal for the exit. I believe that's what that signal was for. So you needed to show.
It was for yeah.
And then we turned off, didn't we? But that's the one where I think your brother did signal. Fourth exit turning right. That's the Heathrow roundabout. You're right. Yeah. But it was very late on the signal. Yeah. That I marked down as, that was that junction. So this one here for the necessary signal, number 7, I'm not too sure what roundabout that was at. I'll have to actually that will be mentioned in the video, but there was a major, dangerous driver fault for use of signals when necessary. I remember. I remember now. You were changing back into the left lane. You went round a parked car. You signalled to move back to the left lane. As you move back to the left lane, the signal's still on.
Oh, yeah.
You're approaching a side road. There was a man coming out of the side road. He looked at your signal, signalling left. You drove past him and the side road with the left signal on. And he went like this. He thought you were going to turn. So my question is, there it is. All that writing up here, okay? My question is, do you need to signal if you're going around the parked car?
No.
Most people are going to see the parked car and know you're going to go around it. If you really feel like it's necessary and it will benefit people, okay, you can use the signal. That's okay. But when you come back into the left, again, do you need to signal? Maybe just the mirrors are enough because there's a side road coming up on the left. And as soon as we move in, as long as we've checked our mirrors, gone around the parked car, immediately moved in, it's just like we're just going around a parked car, so we don't really need to signal.
Yeah.
If we do signal and there's a side road, this is where it can be misleading. The man might drive out.
I know.
And therefore it could be dangerous. Okay? All right. I'm glad I remembered that. Okay, number 8. Now we're moving into the response to traffic lights. Now this is something that's going to be really helpful for you because it is something that's quite common. All right? So, when we approach traffic lights, okay, what are we at now? Traffic lights, number 8. And the lights are green. Forgive the question, but what does green mean?
We have to proceed.
Yes, good. Now, when you're getting the green light and you're proceeding, you're doing it very slowly most of the time. On this occasion, you stopped.
Okay.
There's cars on the right, and you're turning left. You're looking at the cars on the right at a green light and stopping. Do you need to stop for cars on the right if you're turning left?
No.
Now, this is very common, mostly from students that I've had, and this is just my experience, from India.
Okay.
Let me ask a question so I don't make an idiot out of myself. When you come towards a roundabout in India, do you most likely always stop regardless of the situation or slow down a lot and look?
Actually, in India, the driving is very rough.
Okay.
We don't make use of the roundabout. There is no such lane discipline. You can change lanes as and when you want, like. And it's like you are in control of yourself. You don't have to bother about other road users like it is over here.
What do you do at junctions?
At junctions now, I think so. There are traffic lights mostly available.
Okay.
But otherwise, lane discipline is not the things that we focus at.
So in India, you approach a junction and you get to it and you just go green light. Whee!
Yeah, we go that. We don't have to look. We don't have to give way for the traffic at the right.
Driving in the country, yeah.
Okay, so now I'm confused. So in India, you just go wee on a green light. But in London,
no offense,
sometimes even if you are drunk on a red light, you go.
Yeah, okay.
No offense, but to anybody. No offense to India, but.
Yeah, but okay. So you want to do the same here?
I know.
The only difference really is, roundabouts. Roundabouts, we always need to give priority to the right. But when we're turning left, we've got priority.
I know.
If we're coming out onto a main road, all right, we've got to give way. But, approaching to turn left, traffic lights turning left, just smooth. Yeah, just go through it. Okay, moving on. Number 9. Reverse parking, your reverse bay park. Very nice, okay? You're looking all the way around, you're moving, new car, new camera, get in the car in the bay. The minor driver fault, this is what this driver fault is, advisory driver fault, is because we have to correct. So you moved forwards and came back again.
Yeah.
Nice observations as you did your correction. Well done. Good manoeuvre all round. It's just that you will receive a minor or advisory driver fault on the driving test for correcting. So any manoeuvre that you do, you are allowed to move forwards and backwards as many times as you feel you need to.
Okay.
Usually you're allowed about 3 to 4 minutes for your manoeuvre on your driving test.
Okay.
If you need to correct and do that movement forwards and backwards, you receive a driver fault for doing that.
Okay, so it should be done in one time.
If you can, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Okay, moving on, number 11. Okay, so we've got turning left. This was a crossroads. This was the one I was actually describing. So the other one was something different about the green light. You stopped at the green light. Okay. This one was the one where you were turning left and you're looking at the right. And you're going so slow. Why?
I don't know.
You're turning left, crossroads, looking right, going really slow. More lessons, get you more confident.
Yeah, I know.
That's what it is. It's just for someone to say to you, do you need to be doing this? And then for you to actually in the moment kind of go, what am I doing? Where am I? I'm turning left. Oh, if I'm turning left, I'm the boss. And then you're gone, yeah? But it just takes practice.
Yeah,
That's all. Okay? All right. That was number 11. Number 12. We've got undue hesitation. Okay, so this is where we, I believe, second to last roundabout. Okay, there was a van behind you. All my writing's all over the place. Okay, so second to last roundabout, I believe you stopped. And I think second, yep. And I asked you, who do you give priority to, or something like that. Yeah. Okay, there's a van behind you, so that van's having to stop. The van can also see, because you're so smooth with your acceleration and your brake, which is very good, by the way, so well done. There's not really a situation where the van's going to slam into us, because you're so gradual and smooth. However, we don't want to stop the van.
I know.
Unless we need to stop the van, and there's no one on the right side, so we need to make progress. Okay?
Okay.
So that one there was a serious driver fault, and that one was number 12 for undue hesitation. So it's a progress, undue hesitation. We're stopping when we don't need to. All right, number 13, and I'm getting lost. Yeah. Lovely. Thank you very much. This is a driver fault, advisory driver fault. You were doing 10 miles an hour on a 30 mile an hour road. Now, people are probably thinking, well, how comes he's getting an advisory driver fault and not a serious driver fault or a dangerous driver fault? This is when you're going over the speed bumps. Yes, my car is low. Yes, it's not very nice on speed bumps. But you're very good at putting a tyre on each side. You got control, you got accuracy, probably from your experience. That's actually keeping you roughly 1 metre or a door width from the left, whether that's pavement or parked car. So that's a nice cruising line. You can just kind of cruise. And if you can get one wheel on each side of the bumps, giving your examiner a more smoother ride, which they may or may not like, depending on the person, you can actually just cruise over those bumps at maybe 15, 20 miles an hour, 25 miles an hour, depending on your vehicle. You're driving a Range Rover, you'd be going over all those bumps at 30 miles an hour. Because this car is low and all the rest of it, it's not as pleasant, but you can still get the speed because you've got vehicles behind you. All right, so it's an exception. It's a road that's got speed bumps. However, there's no signs. Most likely it's a 30 road. Keep looking for signs. It was a 30 road. Increase the speed. Okay?
Yeah.
Advisory driver fault. Number 15. We have got undue hesitation. This is an advisory driver fault. My writing's a bit messy, but it's on the video. Okay, and then I think that's it. We're done. So that is your complete driver test with complete explanation. Wow. I'll pat myself on the back for saying that one. Okay. Any questions from me?
No, nothing.
All right. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, it was my pleasure to meeting you.
Thank you very much to Myron and to Sidroy, which seems to be on his way to passing his driving test.
The second time I should do it.
Yeah, you've got good awareness, so I've noticed that. Okay.
Every mistake makes a learner learn something.
Thank you very much. Excellent. And on that note, I've been Scott. Stay safe, stay tuned, and we'll see you next time. Deuce.